going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez.
And it's Fred Lenartz.
And we are enjoying a cup of coffee on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast with you and whoever it is that you can get inside of the brew. You know what you need to do. Tag a car guy.
Tag a car gal.
And share.
Let's get this out there. We have some really great content to share with you all today. A really great guy that we got to hang out with at the great event. The great event, the Super Bowl of all automotive events, NADA this year. We got to go to his booth, check out his passion, what he's doing. Got to actually shake his hand in person and really get to hang out with him and learn more about his business in person and his people, man. And man, what a great group of people there were. And I'm excited to get him on the screen today and have the second cup of this Grounds for Growth. Yeah,
definitely all about that second cup. Some of you might be on your second cup of the day, and we are excited to put a little bit of high energy inside of your day. And we're pumped up also to have another conversation and cover a few other things that are happening post NADA, just like many of you are doing things that are because of the result of what you did during NADA. For those of you that are listening, we are having fun collecting all of this incredible information and these great conversations. Make sure that you stay up with us at carguycoffee.com. Stay in tune with what it is that we brew on YouTube and everywhere else, because many of those conversations are dripping into your cups as the months go on, and we are excited to continue to put some of that content out there. But today we are going to be live, and we are going to keep these conversations going. There is something to be said when you do meet people in the digital sense, and we were just talking about how sometimes it's even just a little bit different when you meet them in a physical sense. But I was very impressed and excited to be able to meet Todd in person and be able to also see a little bit of his swag. You can't quite pick up somebody's swag just looking at pictures and then seeing videos. You got to see how they actually look when you're standing with them. And man, he definitely had his own style, his own flow, and he is really brewing some serious solutions.
One of a kind.
There's no cup of coffee that's like this. There's no brew that's like what it is that you're about to get with Fred and Lou. And from Digital Dealership System, the one, the only, Todd Katcher. Welcome to the show, Todd. Welcome back.
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Man,
so pumped to see you back.
What an honor during digital. I won't say digital dealership because they don't be your company, but at NADA, you were a busy man. Not only were you busy at the booth, but you were going around. You were talking to some great people. You had people coming to the booth to interview you. We got to interview you, which we were honored to do so. Man, what a great event that was. How did you think NADA was this year?
Oh, it was a great success this year. I mean, not only the ability to meet great people, vendors like yourselves, and do some great interviews and have some great conversations, but it was also, it was the first time that we really had an NADA where we had so many customers come up with us and say, hey, we've seen a lot of your ads, but we wanted to go ahead and actually meet with you in person. And then the amount of people since then who have upgraded their services, because you know, when you have customers and you don't get to see them very often, you know, we have 1,000 customers across the country. And so when we actually get to meet them face to face in person, shake a hand, and they say, hey, we love your product. What else can you do for us? Or we want to upgrade this and that. The biggest success that we've had at NADA this year was our current customers coming to the booth and saying, we want more, which is crazy. You know, like they could contact us anytime. You know, we contact our customers on a regular basis, just part of customer service. But for them to take an effort out of their busy schedule at NADA, you know, they have so many vendors to see, and there's so many different people drawing their attention. And to come to a current vendor and a partner that they've been with for a long time and say, hey, I want more, when they could have just called us on the phone, you know, or just reached out to us by email because we have that contact. But to actually spend their time to do that and to sit down, like we had dealers come to us and just literally sit down in our booth and just sit there and talk to us and say, hey, I want to learn how to use this better. I want to learn this. And it was almost like an in-person demo. But then afterwards, we're getting all of our business after NADA, or I should say most of it, has been from our current customers who are adding more services because they like what we do for them and they see the value. And, you know, that's the best customer, right?
Oh, that's the best feeling. New customers are great, but when your customer that you currently have loves you so much they want to do more with you, that's like a compliment, right? The biggest form that you can give of that, you know, that would make me feel so great, and I know that you did too. I could see the energy, I could see the smile inside you. I know that the show was was a whirlwind. It was so busy. It was the busiest NADA I've been to probably ever, right? So it was really cool to see how it was happening in there. Your booth was in a great location. It looked phenomenal. I guarantee not only did your current clients, but anybody who walked by and actually took the time to see what you actually were doing would blown away. We were blown away by your technology. I love the setup. You know, we talked about it on your show. We've done a demo with you. I've done it all, but to see it actually on a screen, the way it would look inside a showroom, inside a sales office, or wherever that the screen's going to be for that particular situation, man, it was really cool and eye-opening. Even the little notes, the positivity quotes that are at the bottom of it for the customers to be watching the service page, all these things matter so much. And it was the details that I noticed. It wasn't the fact that you had it. It's cool. But it was the little details that you did inside of it for them and for their clients and for everybody to make it even better is where it impressed me the most. So congrats on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, that's one of the distinctions between a self-managed system. Like dealership can go ahead and do slideshows, or they could do Google Sheets, or they could go ahead and run a YouTube page or something like that on their screens in their dealership. But utilizing a service like ours just adds a little bit of detail and professionalism and allows them to focus on selling cars and taking care of their customers versus worrying about managing digital signs. You know, most dealers use some sort of advertising agency for managing their social media, right? So this is just an extension of that marketing is inside their dealership, whether it's motivating their staff or whether it's using the service drive or lounge TV programming. Sure, you could do that yourself. You could also do your Facebook advertising or social media advertising by yourself too. But you pay someone to manage that for you because they're experts and they do it better than you can do it on your own. So you could save money, right? You could do your own agency stuff. There's tools that you could use, and you could say, you know, the big buzzword, the AI, to go ahead and create your advertising and go ahead and manage your social media advertising. But it's not as good as if you were actually an expert in that. That's why dealers go ahead and hire advertising agencies that are experts. So when it comes to digital signs, hire a digital sign company that's an expert in that, so that way you could have a better result at the end of the day for your customers and for your staff.
So true and so good and so real. You said something, and it is so true. Dealerships are focused on their customers. The people are focused on the people that they're serving, especially in the field of where they're serving them. So as I'm considering this and just thinking of, well, it does make sense that and the opportunity that those that serve the customer so well remove themselves from that measure of service to go get educated, then can get pointed with considering the right questions to ask, the right additions that need to be done, the right people to be in the company of while we're in that environment. Because I can completely see where, hey, how can I make your service any better? And I guarantee your service reps probably ask them these questions. Anything you consider? You want to see any of our new things? And you know what they're on? The next call, the next thing they got to get, the next fire they have to put out, the next deal they got to do, whatever it is, their efforts are already moving in an area, which is why, and inside of our first show, we told people to take a look at your business from outside of your business. It's so hard for these leaders to sit and see what is it that the customer is seeing, because they see themselves serving the customer. And that's sometimes all that they see is that they're the ones on the other side with the hand out to the customer. Whereas when they get the chance to go to an NADA, to go to a booth and really slow down long enough to say, I only have so much time, but the time I am here to find out how to use what I have better and to add to what it is that I may not already have. So it does flow in a good rhythm to be able to say, okay, well, it does make sense, especially because we're all creatures of familiarity. We do want to go to the people that we already know are doing something good for us and have a good conversation there too. So I think that it does facilitate a great, healthy environment for all the add-ons to come and for a comfortable position to ask them in. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what they don't know, and sometimes they really just need to be pointed. You dealers out there, you know what it is that you want in a lot of the scenarios, but sometimes you also didn't know how bad you needed the most recent solution you just found out about, right? And that happens so very often. Some of those conversations are continuing to continue, and they're going to keep going throughout the year. What were some of the big highlights from this show that you enjoyed so much past NADA?
I mean, it was really just a great experience to sit down, and I used the touch screen for the first time this year to actually do live demos. I've usually used a keyboard and mouse, so that was like a really big game changer for our system to talk about our sales leaderboard and our fixed ops leaderboard on a touch screen and really be there in more presentation mode, where I could stand by the touch screen and really go in there and show them all the different features. And the feedback that we get from them is really like, wow, I didn't know there was so much. We keep on hearing from dealers day in and day out, wow, I didn't know there was so much. And the reason why there's so much in our sales leaderboard and fixed ops leaderboard is because it's built for dealers. So we didn't just build a tool and then say every dealer has to use the same platform. That's how most reporting tools are built. What our system is built on, conversations that we have with dealers, not just years ago when we created the program, but literally like yesterday, I created 3 feature enhancements for our developers to go ahead and put into our development queue based on a conversation that I had with a fixed ops director of 10 stores. That was like, I want to move to your platform. Here are 3 reports that I use internally that we weren't using that I want to use to motivate my guys. I take an hour a day to build these 3 reports from our DMS, but by the time that I go ahead and build that report, we do 3,500 ROs a day. That report is old by the time that I go ahead and share it with my guys. So even though he's sharing it every day, it's old by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and it's reporting on yesterday's numbers versus being live. So dealers are starting to see the value in live leaderboards, and we've actually changed our terminology that we use, even our presentations and on our website, to distinguish ourselves from leaderboards and reports, where reports are a snapshot of past time in order to go ahead and make future decisions based on past performance. That's not really motivational. The leaderboard is really motivational. We learned that a lot at the show, where dealers were kind of getting that concept of, hey, there's an area in the store that they value reports. Owners, dealers, general managers, they rely on reports to make decisions in a macro sense. But if you're getting paid week to week, month to month, and it's your paycheck that relies on your own individual performance, you want to look at it on what am I doing today? How could I make more money today? And so you need to know your leaderboard today, between the reports and that you get. You want to know how you could just make more money today, this minute, and to meet your goals to go ahead and be a better employee and ultimately create a bigger paycheck for yourself.
Boom. We got Craig Weber down here saying this is absolutely amazing. I wish my dealer would use the live leaderboard. Craig, I'm going to tell you something. If you could just set up, and I know Craig. So Craig, if you can set up a quick demo for them, it's
Give them the QR code.
I'm going to put the QR code up for you right there. Right? It's super important that you get this, Craig, and you know that you're always trying to give suggestions to your dealer, and I appreciate you doing that. Use this QR code that's over there right by Todd's head. QR code that, set yourself up a demo, learn about it real quick, right? You're going to find that it's way affordable, and your dealer would be spending pennies to be able to gain thousands. So make it happen, my friends.
Definitely. And also, we're the only platform that handles leaderboards for salespeople, sales managers, advisors, as well as techs. There's nothing else out there that does that. Everyone else has tons of reports. Talked to a dealer the other day who's using one who's using CDK, another one is with Techion. They're like, the reports are great, but they don't motivate my team. And that's exactly where our system comes in. There's lots of, every CRM, DMS has tons of reports built into it. But what is actually built to motivate your team? What replaces dry erase boards and printed reports with something that you could actually look at any time to see where you are and where you are based on your goals as an actual rep. That's the difference.
Tony with the keys, welcome to the party. We're excited that you're here. We absolutely love it, when we get the chance to connect people that are doing some great stuff. He said we use a live leaderboard. It tracks everything from videos to calls to sales. We love it, mainly because it's like a good sports team. Could you imagine, folks, if we waited until after the game, after all the stats are already counted, after the final buzzer is sounded, and then we say, all right, guys, this is how it went, and this is what we did. You can't make any adjustments. But when you go to a professional basketball game, you go to a professional football game, you go to a professional game of any sort, you even go to the college level, and they go to even that huddle, the TV break, right? All of that. You have these countless people have all of these reports put in their hand, and they funnel
At
all
the
this
moment
information,
reports,
like
live
real
leaderboards.
what just happened,
Literally.
right? Every single pass, every move, every yard, all of these different things that occurred. That real-time report gets told now, not just so that they say, oh, okay, well, that's what happened, so that you can make an adjustment for now. I can't win today with the report of what yesterday was. I can't win yesterday with a report that finally showed up today. I need to make real-time action. And for those of you that know you're great people, if they see where they can make the adjustment right now, early in the day, as the day goes on, you can still have a winning day, even if it's halfway through the day and you're not having the wins that you expected. But you can't wait till after the game to give the report. Goodness.
Craig says money motivates. Amen, brother.
Come on.
So it's one of the best motivators in the world.
And it's really talking about where the tool is designed to assist, right? So the further you are away from the actual interaction with a customer, right? Whether you're in a service drive, whether you're wrenching, or whether you're a salesperson, the further away you are for that, the less you care about the day-to-day motivation. But the closer you are to that is also true. So if you're the quarterback of the team, you want to know play by play, like how you're doing play by play. But if you're the owner of the team, what are you looking at? The bank account. The more granular you are, the closer you are to the actual action, the more detail that you need because your individual performance matters. The further away you are, the more macro decisions you are. Like if you're the owner of a 10-store group, are you speaking to motivate each individual salesperson, or are you talking to the GMs, or maybe even a platform manager, depending on the structure that you have? So you're further away, so you need different information. The further you are away from it, then the closer you are, the more information you need on your individual performance, because the individual performance adds up as an aggregate to the overall macro. But depending on who you are, those salespeople need to know where they are at any given time throughout the day, not at the end of the month or at the end of the week.
I love that.
That's no different. I mean, if we were to go ask a desk man or a sales manager or somebody, where's your team at? Most likely, and most of them should, put this in notebooks if you didn't know this, should be able to give a good, accurate report of what's going on. General manager comes out, your GSM comes out, your service manager comes out, asks somebody, hey, where's somebody at? We should know this one's at lunch, this one's on a test drive, this one's handling some qualifications. You should still know. The same thing should be said of what it is that they've completed inside of the day, not just where their physical presence is, but where their physical output has produced us to the moment. That's what we're managing. That's what we're keeping up with. And the easier that we can make that for ourselves, the better. And man, have you simplified it? You've done it ridiculously cost effective compared to what everybody else would charge for something that's making the life easier for not just the people involved in giving the great service, but for those that are receiving it. You've managed to make sure to balance both of those ends out. And you should really, really, really be proud of where it is that you've come. I know that you were gleaming with pride when the last time that we got to see you, loving on your people, loving on what's happening. Brother, we definitely do honor that. And I know that
he even had massage. He even can get massage at his booth. That's want to bring that up. I was like, man, if we had more time, I would have stayed for a little while and just got me a little hookup too. But now seriously, you try to bring in experience for people. It's big. We had Jordan Cox, a great friend of ours. He jumps on here and he says, what's the best hierarchy? Is it customer greater than dealership greater than employee? Or is it employee greater than customer greater than dealership? I always like to say that it all starts with the customer, Jordan. I believe that because the customer experience will determine everything else. I do believe we do need to put a lot of love into our employees too. I do believe that, and I think that it's a tight knit for me when it comes to that stuff. I think that when it comes to, and this is me answering it, I'm going to have you answer this afterwards. But I think when it comes to the dealership, we have to protect our dealership always. That's huge. It's important, right? So that's a big, important part of it all. But if it wasn't for our customers and if it wasn't for our employees, we wouldn't have a dealership. So I always believe you have to put those two in the front, but protecting your store at the same time. What do you think about that, Todd?
Yeah, I think you have. It all comes down to the customer. And if your customer has a good experience in your store, and if your store provides a unique experience, remember, dealerships are selling a commodity, right? You could get the same car at many different areas at many different dealerships in a particular region. So if you're in the market for, let's just say something like a Ford F-150, how many dealerships in your given area can somebody go ahead and purchase that exact same car and the exact same trim for? And dealerships go ahead and spend money competing against other dealerships for the same thing. So consider the difference between other franchises. So imagine if you had like a McDonald's and the McDonald's on one corner competes with the McDonald's on the other corner. It doesn't really work, right? Because they're selling the same thing, but in car dealerships, they do. And so the only thing they have to separate themselves from someone else, at the end of the day, you're getting the same, Big Mac? McDonald's is the Big Mac, right? So you're getting a Big Mac at a McDonald's. You can get that at any McDonald's, and it should taste exactly the same, right? So but maybe sometimes you might prefer one over the other because maybe the people are nicer inside one than the other. But we always hire the best employees that we can, right? So then you go ahead and go to the automotive industry, and you're like, okay, I'm going to buy an F-150. Well, all these are made in the same plant usually, right? So, so in general, you're going to go ahead and get the same F-150. So why would you buy one over the others? Because how you take care of the customer, the in-store customer experience, and also how cohesive that messaging is from the online experience into the store. So every touch point that a customer has is equally important, and you could lose that at any given time. You know, how many times I call dealerships and somebody answers the phone, hello, right? or they transfer you to somebody and they don't, and the call drops. They don't know who I am. I'm just saying, hey, can I speak with Mike, your general sales manager? Can I speak with this person or that person? They don't know who I am. So imagine if that was a customer and they drop the call, or they don't know how to transfer, they answer the phone unprofessionally, whatever the case may be. Everything that you do at a dealership is a touch point. And
Yes.
With our products, like a digital sign services, like when you look at like a service drive, you look at the service status menus, you look at the lounge, you look at the showroom, our services allow dealerships to provide a customized solution inside their dealership to create that comprehensive marketing solution. The next thing you need to do as a dealer is look at how you treat your staff. Do you invest in your staff, or is your mentality they should be thankful to even have a job? A lot of managers, a lot of owners say, hey, they should be thankful. I've worked for that guy before who said you should be thankful you even have a job, let alone the fact that we're investing in you. We're investing in training for you. We're investing in maybe a corporate lunch every day, or a corporate dinner every day, or maybe we're investing in leaderboards to motivate you, to keep track of you, to keep you in good hands. Maybe we're doing we have a trainer come in once a month, or some sort of outside service to go ahead and invest. What are you investing in your staff? So just like you need to invest in your in-store experience for the customers, you need to do that for your staff as well. And then everything else kind of falls in place, because I think it's real management is bottoms up. It's not top down. And it's really talking about they wouldn't exist without customers, right? And so first, how do you take care of your customers? Then who talks to your customers? Your staff. So if your staff doesn't feel like they're appreciated and they're invested in, then how are they going to take care of their customers? So it's a top-down philosophy, but it's a bottom-up culture-building exercise where how do you take care of your customers when they walk in your door? And then how do you take care of the people that talk to your customers most? We were talking before we went on air here about how you could have that person who's, let's call him a real hard ass, who's an owner or a GM. Well, that person doesn't speak to customers. If you had that same mentality speaking to customers, it wouldn't be successful. But that filters down just as much as it filters up. That attitude has to be all the way down to the people who are speaking to the customers. And it trickles down all the way down. However you treat your staff is how your staff's going to treat your customers. So to get back to the original question on who's first, it always comes back to the customers, because we wouldn't exist without our customers. Digital dealership system wouldn't exist without our customers. You guys wouldn't exist without your customers. But if we don't treat our customers right, or treat our staff right, then we can't treat our customers right. So it's like a 1A, 1B situation for that. And then the managers and everything else kind of fall in line based on those philosophies that you have. I think you have to spend more attention at where the touch points actually are in the service that you're in.
Well, 100% agree with you, Todd. And thank you so much, Jordan Cox, for posing a really, really great question.
It was a great question. It was kind of a trick one, because he didn't give the customer, he didn't give the employee or customer employee dealership option. He mixed it up. So big shout out to you for tuning in. And great answer, Todd, and way to get deep in that, man. That's that's the truth, though, guys and gals out there listening. It's really important that we take care of our customers, but who's taking care of your customers? Because if you can't take care of them, you don't have customers. They don't come back, they leave, and then your business isn't there anyway. So what does your business matter at that point? So build those two things up to the best of your ability, and I promise you, your company, your business will be taken care of naturally. And that's the truth. Since we've left NADA, brother, I know you were there. You had dealers that loved all your products, people who were upgrading their products while they were there. Was there anything that you left there saying, you know what, I want to do this now, I want to add this? Or is there something new that you're going to probably develop here soon? I have a feeling, I don't know if you could trickle it yet. There's something there.
Yeah, we have a couple things in the pipeline that we're doing just to enhance our current services. So what we've heard from dealers is really that we have the best services in the industry. I mean, we had a great conversation with a large BMW store, and they said their digital signs haven't been updated, their lounge TV hasn't been updated for X number of years. Just recently, we took over an Audi store down in Fort Lauderdale and put screens everywhere. It never hasn't been updated from their provider that they were paying for 2 years. And we went in there and automatically they're like, wow, this completely changes everything in the store because now it's more alive than it was before.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing that we're looking at now is adding more value to our current services, where there's a fine line between a leaderboard and a report. So leaderboards are motivator boards, whereas a report is a snapshot of past experience. Yeah. And most reporting tools are only updated once a day, whereas leaderboards are updated as often every 15 minutes. But there's been a little bit of a blend in that recently, where the customers that we have really love our leaderboards, but they want more reports that are easier to use and than their current reporting tools, and more customizable than their current reporting tools. Some of the big reporting companies out there now charge a lot of money, up to $2,500 a month for services for reports. And they're very, very granular, which we're not going to go in that direction. But the idea is that we're trying to create a low-cost experience under $500 a month, but we want to give them some of those top reports on the desktop as well. And so we're enhancing our services there. And then we've heard some directors so that are interested in our services to give to their frontline workers, if you will, their sales managers, their service managers, their shop managers, tools that they can get easy, quick numbers month over month, year over year, without getting into these granular reports and not giving them access to all those numbers. So we're working really hard to go ahead and develop those protocols, and then also provide some macro reports so they could look at industry standards and to create some industry standards so they know where they are based on those, and then determine that how they fit into that on their own. And then aside from that, we're also building some messaging apps built into our current platform, because what we've heard from dealers time and time again is that we had one dealer group, and the first thing they did was get all their staff members on our mobile app for sales. So that mobile app allows them to go ahead and every time a sale is done in the store, a car is delivered, they get a text message through our application. It's like a virtual kick in the butt. Like the guy's out there smoking, right? Never happened at dealerships, right? So there's a guy out there taking a break, looking at social media, then all of a sudden he gets a ding, 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 like someone, all these cars selling. He's like, well, maybe I should go ahead and self-motivate to go ahead and give me a virtual kick in the butt saying, hey, I should get back on the sales floor. So we're adding to that program now. It should be done by the end of this month, where a dealer can actually send out text messages through our app to their team at any given time throughout the day, at any time, saying, hey, everybody come, quick meeting, or maybe they have maybe lunch is served, or maybe, hey, these are the performance metrics that we're looking at, or different things that they might want to go ahead and communicate. So
hey, where's the key to stock number whatever?
What is that?
Well, they can say, where's the key to stock number
whatever.
They
could do that. Yeah. Who didn't clean the car after they took it out on a quick break ride, right? So yeah, who needs to fill up the car before the customer comes in, or those types of messages. So they'd have the ability to do an open platform to go ahead and send whatever messaging they want to their team. So we're building that now.
That would save a lot.
What I love most about that is, and why I knew you were going to have an answer for that question, is because I know you don't rest on your laurels. I know that you're constantly looking for ways to not just help your clients, but also to make sure that your business and your people inside your business are growing too. And that's an amazing thing to be able to do. Just small adaptations that can really help a dealer get the things that they're looking for to be able to help their team grow. And that's so amazing. You already have what you're doing currently And I love that you said it out loud. It's the best in the industry, right? So keep following that and feel that and make sure that you stay the best, because the only way you can stay the best is to constantly adapt. So I love that you're doing it, brother. Great job.
Yeah, we listen to our customers every day, and based on feedback that we get, the dealers come up with some crazy ideas, but in general, we listen to everything, and they say, and sometimes we allow them to customize the systems to meet their needs, but at the same time, when we hear certain things that they're looking for or certain features that they're looking for consistently, we want to build those to meet those needs. And they constantly, we have a development queue right now that's full for the next 90 days. And then over those 90 days, we're continually adding more just based on the conversations that we have with dealers. And we have lots of conversations on a daily basis. I have 6 calls scheduled today. So, I mean, that's 6 conversations that I have with dealers today. We do about 20 or 30 conversations a week. And based on that, we're learning from dealers. We're training dealers. We're having those conversations that go ahead and make our products better and make the experience for our customers better. That's just like a dealership needs to go ahead and focus on creating better experience for their customers. As a vendor, we try to make a better experience for our customers by providing them the tools that they need to provide the best services that we can and great value.
Love it. Well, we absolutely champion. For those of you that do not know, that do not recall, whether you've seen it on the last show, you heard about it over at NADA, you'd heard us talk about it in a conversation, or we pointed it out to you dealers inside of your store how you need to set a demo for this. Make sure that you do recognize that our friend Todd is 100% CGC approved. That's right, everybody.
That's right.
Remember that.
Remember that. And his product and his people and his process and what he's doing for our industry is CGC approved. And we appreciate you, Todd. Thank you for being an uplifter. Thank you for bringing solutions to dealers and their salespeople and for their customers to be able to have a better experience in their business so that we can sell more cars, make more money, and have fun while we're doing it and grow and know where we're at, man. Amazing stuff, brother.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're about to sign off. We're about to drop those F-bombs. Forgive, focusing, and flying. Any last words you'd have to say to anybody just even kind of on the fence or considering upgrading by just having a conversation with you?
Hey, I just welcome any conversation that I have with dealers. It's not always a fit for what they're looking for, but to have that conversation to let them know that we're out there for them, whether they're looking for digital signs in the service drive, in the lounge, or to motivate their team with our leaderboards. I'm happy to have the conversation and meet new people and then see if it's a fit. If not for now, then they know that they know what we have to set the standard as they start looking in the future.
Excellent. Do it. Sign the QR code, you all. Go sign that QR code.
Right,
sign it, sign it, sign
Go
it.
check it out. Get a demo. A demo is gonna change everything. If you guys don't have anything like this in your store, if you have something that's even old school, that's just not doing what you want it to do, I promise you this is the solution for you right now. Get on that phone, get on that website, get on this QR code and set it up right now. I promise you it'd be worth every moment that you spend getting that demo done. So
let's go. Let's keep improving, everybody. Upshift, uplift. Let's forget, focus, fly, everybody. On 3, 1, 2. Help us out. There we go. 3. Forgive. Focus. Fly.
And keep growing, everyone.
Thank you so much for growing with us, everybody. This has been a great episode of understanding a little bit of these grounds for growth. This Sifkin Cup has been fantastic, and you can get more cups. But thank you again for joining us inside of the Car Guy Coffee Cafe, the one,
the only Todd Katcher.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon, everybody. We're out.
Peace.